Greetings. My name is
Okay.
Kathy Adams, and I am the Southern Regional Director of the National Federation of Democratic Women, but I'm also a member of my home chapter of the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. And just want to extend an invitation to you and say thank you, a warm thank you, for joining us this evening.
Absolutely. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The organization's purpose, for this evening's meeting is, our chat. Let me just say that it's not a meeting, but it's to create awareness and facilitate various social issues and programs that concern women in the South metropolitan area and the surrounding areas. So where everything's south of I-20 all the way down to the Coweta County line and to the Fayette County line, the Clayton County lines, and everything in between, and the city of Atlanta, the city limits. So very large area representation. But I want to say thank you so much for the opportunity just to sit down one-on-one and chat, informal. We just want to just give you an opportunity to share some information with the voters and a little bit about yourself and what it is you're doing, your views and values, and just hear from you. But wanted to let you know as well that the South Metro Democratic Women has extended this same invitation to all of the candidates that are running in the local municipal areas.
Good.
So each of them will have the same opportunity. Some you will see and some you may not see, but everyone's been extended the opportunity. So I guess that's it. I'd like to just formally go ahead and get started and just say to the viewers, today we have the pleasure, or I have the pleasure of introducing candidate Robert Dawson, and he is running in the City of South Fulton for City Council seat in District 2. And I'm going to just ask him some one-on-one questions and you just take the time to chat. Again, a little bit about your views, your values, your vision, your platform, and a little bit about yourself. So you ready to get started?
Absolutely. And thanks again for having me. You all, I say it all the time, I'm on the record as saying that you're one of my favorite organizations. I've been supporting you, many years now, at least 5 years. Also, there's another organization I love, it's a Conference of Ministers, Wives, and Widows. So you are my two favorite organizations, so big fan.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say kudos and thank you for that because you remembered our name right off the rip. So.
Yep.
Yes, we try to stay busy in the area because we see the value in educating voters, constituents of the area. We want people to know what's going on in and around the cities. You may not live in the local city, but you may want to know what's going on around you so that, because a lot of things impact us directly and indirectly. So we want to know what's going on around some of those other cities in the South Metro area. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Robert Dawson?
Yeah, so Robert Dawson, born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, right next door. I've been living in Atlanta since 04, came here in 04, settled in the Cascade area, and then eventually made it down here to South Fulton. So by trade, it's cliche in Atlanta, but I'm truly a Renaissance man. I'm a cybersecurity consultant in the financial fraud space. So, and I'm a state licensed residential home builder. We're actually breaking ground on some projects here, new home construction in South Fulton, but coming up in Birmingham, being right there in a hotbed of civil rights, I got to enjoy the hard work of civic engagement. So I've been working like this in the community for many, many years.
Okay, so this is nothing new to you then.
I love it. I was SGA president, worked for my first congressman when I was 16, and my first job out of undergrad was with the United States House of Representatives. So I love being involved and and taking my skill sets and talents and contributing those to the greater community.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your platform and why you're running for office. Why do you want to be a next city council member in the city of South Fulton?
Right. So my message is a positive message. I know we hear a lot of negative sentiment, public sentiment in the media and from some neighbors about the city. But for me, I harp on, as a start, some of the positive things that we have. You know, one thing that strikes me as so unique about the city is that we have the full range of the Black diaspora right here in the boundaries of one city, so that you can go to some districts and meet with single mothers or seniors of very small means and fixed budgets. And then you can go to other districts and visit with neighbors and multi-million-dollar homes. So that to me is a compelling aspect of the city. I'm proud to call South Fulton home. Of course, I love South Fulton. My motto is that we're South Fulton strong. So I'm not just focused on what's broken and what needs to be fixed. I also want to highlight and put up on the pedestal all of these positive things we have, from proximity to the airport, our population, predominantly Black population, very great opportunity for housing, residential housing, and so much undeveloped land. So it's a positive message that we want to build on.
Okay, awesome. So, you know, and you said some key things that just kind of sparked some interest to me. And I too live in the city of South Fulton, but you talked about housing and things like that and undeveloped land. You want to elaborate on that a little bit? Because I know, you know, not directly the city of South Fulton, because I remember when we were going through cityhood, you know, we talked about all the great things and all the opportunities, but you know, we've got neighbors that are doing some things that are interesting these days.
Absolutely, absolutely. So two points come out of that. One is this housing issue. We're honestly inside of another housing crisis now that we're on this side of the COVID pandemic. And then unfortunately, it's impacting women and single mothers disproportionately. You know, we have a greater population of women in South Fulton than we do men. And a lot of those women are homeowners and even people who have leases. And with the economic impact of COVID, we're seeing a lot of housing problems, you know, predatory inclusion and lending, predatory capitalism, all these forbearances are coming due and foreclosures are looming. So I think that's one opportunity we can strike. And then one of my main platform points is that we have to turn now with this undeveloped land to intentional land use and development, right? So right now I feel like there's runaway construction in South Fulton of warehouses in the region, the greater region of warehouses and of residential developments that are impacting traffic and all these things. And I, for one, I'm personally calling in support of a moratorium on building and construction until we can figure this out. And I'm also for getting these other regional governments in formation, whether it's East Point or Union City. If we can't have a dialogue with them as neighbors, then we have to go to the state and the federal government and get some injunctions on the type of developments they're putting on our borders.
And I think that's perhaps what some of the citizens or the voters would like to hear. You know, and it's not all about big box development and housing, but do you see in sight for economic development for the city of South Fulton?
Yeah, so right now, the type of development that we have is spreading like wildfire, the warehouses and the residential developments. And the problem with the way they're being built, the plan is only to add profit to the bottom line of the developers. The plan is not to add benefit to the citizens and to the city. We need fine dining. We're a food desert, so we need more produce and grocery options. And of course, we need a state-of-the-art city hall, public works, police, fire headquarters, aquatic centers, recreation centers to upgrade our parks and our existing infrastructure. So again, positive outlook on where we are and what our potential is, but a lot of practical things that we can do to improve on a great community that we have already.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Yeah, and because people always talk about these livable, walkable communities, and you know, wanted to hear what your insight on, was on that.
Right. So we
Long-term
talk.
vision, give us a short-term vision and a long-term vision. Where do you foresee South Fulton
Yeah,
going?
so we talked about the positive things that we have now, and sorry to cut you off a little bit there. So that's our base. There are positive things of potential that we have. Then practically, there are so many things that we can do, from a street light and sidewalk master plan, continue to fight the blighted properties that we have here now, and also find public funding for the widening of roads and traffic calming. We all saw back to school, it was a traffic nightmare. And so these things have to be addressed practically. And in addition to some of these practical things that we need to do, I also have a vision for the promise of South Fulton, where we're able to build the type of housing and affordable housing that we need to serve the greater community, all those amenities that will make us a real community, the work, live, play amenities, outlets for our youth, seniors, and families.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, having said all of that, what makes you qualified for this role?
First and foremost, as a citizen, right? I think we all are. We put our money where our mouths were, and we live here. We're citizens of the city. I'm already here. I'm serving on the board. I'm working hard in the community. I'm constantly volunteering, helping my neighbors. I have a small business in the city, but I don't like to brandish and show off my golden resume. It's just more about being a citizen and giving back to the place that I live.
Okay, well, awesome. So, but we've had a turn on a series of events and the way we live and the way we educate in this past, 15, 17 months now.
Yes.
But so due to this global pandemic, what legislative priorities would you push or support?
Yep, and I do have an academic background in crisis and disaster management. So I think a lot of emergency services, we learned that when we have to go into shutdown, whether it's communications for the pandemic or for storm, we need to increase that infrastructure in the city, just crisis and emergency management. Also, to build a stronger foundation for the citizens, like a priority process in the city for hiring of residents, more programs to give favor to locally owned businesses and vendors in the process of passing out city contracts and requests for procurement initiatives. So everything to strengthen the citizens and the communities, bringing jobs to South Fulton and filling these jobs with people who live here. From the start, my first campaign when we were just getting started and starting the process of cityhood, I called for a $15 minimum wage for all city employees. I think I was the first person to call for that. Thankfully, we have that now. I was never for the outsourcing of city jobs. I think that all of us and all of my neighbors listening in right now are more than qualified and more than capable of filling these positions. So I'm not so fast to outsource the jobs. I like to fill them with quality candidates from right here in the city.
But, you talk about jobs and, we have jobs. Our neighbors are bringing jobs to us, but they're warehouse jobs, they're blue collar jobs. Where can we find some of these white collar jobs, or, for those that are like mid-flight of their careers? They don't have to be corporate. They can be a regional office, a district office. It can be just an office. When are we going to start? Well, or do you even have a vision to bring mid-sized businesses that are not big box warehouses to the region that can give us these jobs? We got the rooftops, we got the schools. We talked about the eateries. We have some shopping, but what do you think you can do to help complement this tapestry that we're building here in the city of South Fulton? And what's your vision for driving that forward?
Right away, one practical solution that we have at our disposal is that I think right now in the entire city, we only have one Class A office space. So there's no way we're going to have those type jobs that you're demanding and the citizens are demanding if we're building or allowing our neighbors to build warehouses. We need Class A office space. Let's become a technology hub. Let's change our infrastructure in the way we are to include electronic vehicles, solar. We can upgrade the city's grid with more forward-facing technologies and cyber cryptocurrency, municipal cyber security. These are the things that we can do in addition to skilled trade training for our youth and for our citizens. Right now, there's a big disparity in a number of skilled laborers there are, and some of these jobs don't even require a college education, but they're six-figure jobs. So definitely focusing on those practical steps can increase the type of tax base we have and the type of employment opportunities we have for the people who live here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to shift it a little bit and ask you a question about millage rates. What are your thoughts on that as we look forward?
So this year, I think we're okay with the tax digest. There's not going to be an increase this year. Mm-hmm. But I will say, citizens are going to have to be aware that if we do want to achieve some of these goals, whether, everyone's upset about sanitation. I just changed vendors myself. There's so much frustration about the level of service we're getting for sanitation. Of course, no one likes taxes. Hopefully, we don't have to raise that millage rate next year like we didn't have to raise it this year. But in the future, as we look to bring departments like sanitation in, as we look to procure Wolf Creek Amphitheater, upgrade it, continue to widen roads, pave roads, there may be that possibility. We'll try to keep everything consistent. We don't want property taxes to get out of control. Luckily, we have Fulton Industrial now. That's going to help with the tax digest, but the citizens will have to be aware and realistic if we're demanding these services like in-house sanitation and more amenities. There may be that possibility in the future.
Well, and then having said that, what do we do for the other side of the city of South Fulton? And I say the other side, and it's the more mature, the older portion of the city of South Fulton on the other side of Interstate 85. The old National Corridor and all of that. You have the home values don't quite mirror those over here in the Fulton Industrial Wolf Creek area. And so what are your plans for tax base or tax increases there? Or how would you handle something like that?
I think one thing that we're doing with the developers who are coming in, we're not demanding enough of them. We're accepting and taking what we're getting, and we're letting them go where they want to go, as opposed to directing them where they're needed. And then also a lot of this, if you look at the money being spent. The dollars are there. The dollars are there on the Old National Corridor to have whatever that you see in Alpharetta or Dunwoody or Suwanee or Milton. It's just that we're letting these developers get away with giving us nothing or giving us things that are inferior in the quality of what even the financial base is there. All the companies who are there, they're doing well. So we're going to have to be more vocal. I think that's the role of city council across the city, and bringing in and attracting the type of developments that we deserve based alone on the type of money, the socioeconomic status that we are at right now. The money is there. We're just not demanding more attractive and more beneficial products. Let's start a credit union.
Okay, so what would you, so are you willing to work with your colleagues on the council in those other districts to come up with a strategic plan to help revitalize some of those older areas? I mean, tell me a little bit about that. You want to elaborate on that a little bit, or?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that's going on right now is, we're one South Fulton. I don't see the geographic borders. Of course, I'm here to serve my citizens in District 2, but we're one city. A lot of those borders are imaginary, and I think that's one problem that we're having right now. All this bickering across borders and across districts, and frankly on the city council. That's my number one platform point, is that we need a functional government and we need effective leadership. I think the citizens, I've heard from everyone, we're fed up with the bickering and the drama in City Hall. You hear it in the media, you hear it around town, you're seeing it everywhere. So I offer myself as a collaborator, a facilitator, even a peacemaker, to just reach across whatever the partisan or ego divides are. My ego's not invested here. I don't feed my ego in civic engagement or what I do in the public. So that's key. And even now, I have a cordial relationship, if not a genuine friendship, with all 7 council people and the mayor, as a testament to my disposition and the peace that I want to bring, the unity that I want to bring across the city.
So it sounds like you have a great vision and a good plan for the city of South Fulton and your effectiveness to help legislate and lead the city. So tell the voters how they can get in contact with you, how they can donate or volunteer or just ask you some questions going forward between now and Election Day. Absolutely.
Call me anytime. My phone number is 770-276-9421. And of course, our website is easy. It's just southfultonstrong.com.
Awesome. So again, Mr. Dawson, I just want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule this evening to interview with the South Metro Democratic Women's Council. And again, this interview it's really vital to share information with the community as they go forward and they look at voting for their next leaders. And sharing your platform, your views and your visions. We certainly thank you for taking time and wish you all the best with your campaign endeavors.
Thank you so much, and please keep up the good work. You have my full support.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
I'm on your side. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.